A royal scandal erupts at Buckingham Palace. King Charles finds himself at the center of an explosive issue involving his nieces Beatrice and Eugenie, while Prince William pushes for Prince Andrew, labeled toxic, to be permanently removed from the family. Discover the tensions, behind-the-scenes stories, and repercussions of this royal drama that is shaking the British monarchy. Subscribe, share, and comment to support the channel and never miss any exclusive revelations about royal families. A whiff of scandal is once again hovering over Buckingham Palace, and this time, it's a family feud looming. King Charles, already burdened by health concerns and the monarchy's faltering popularity, now finds himself faced with a delicate dilemma. On one side is his son and heir, Prince William, determined to impose a strict line and preserve the crown's image by demanding that Prince Andrew, tainted by his past legal affairs, be permanently sidelined. On the other, his two nieces, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, have remained loyal to their father and are prepared to do anything to ensure he retains a place, however symbolic, within the royal family. This rift, which mixes strategy, loyalty, and personal feelings, is shaping up to be one of Charles's greatest internal challenges since the beginning of his reign. The problem, according to those close to Buckingham, has taken an even more serious turn in recent weeks. William, anxious to prepare the ground for his future role as king, does not want to leave any shadow over the future of the monarchy. For him, keeping Andrew in the royal fold, even behind the scenes, represents a constant risk, a media bomb that could explode at any moment. Since the Epstein scandal and the embarrassing revelations that cost Andrew his official duties, the British public has never forgiven him. The tabloid press watches his every move, and any appearance by the Duke of York immediately triggers an avalanche of criticism. For William, there is no doubt that his uncle has now embodied the toxicity that the monarchy must eradicate if it is to survive in the 21st century. But Beatrice and Eugenie, who have never stopped defending their father, see this exclusion as an injustice. They point out that, despite his mistakes, Andrew remains a loving, present, and protective father. Their closeness to him has strengthened over the years, particularly after the death of Prince Philip and the difficulties encountered by Queen Elizabeth II in the final years of her reign. They have always publicly affirmed their loyalty, carefully avoiding distancing themselves from him even when criticism rained down. For them, William's demand that they cut all official ties with Andrew amounts to an irrevocable family condemnation, a banishment that goes beyond mere institutional prudence. King Charles, caught in a vice, is trying to accommodate both sides. He knows that William embodies the future and that his vision largely reflects public expectations. But he also fears that by pushing too hard, he will permanently sever the bond with Beatrice and Eugenie, two popular and endearing princesses who have never hesitated to modernize their image and show a more human side of royalty. The tension is such that some courtiers are already speaking of a huge problem, a generational conflict that could leave deep scars. Behind the scenes, family gatherings have become veritable verbal battlegrounds. William, supported by Kate Middleton, insists on the need for a complete and uncompromising cleanup. For them, the message must be clear. The monarchy no longer tolerates the shadow of scandal, and Andrew cannot be an exception. Beatrice and Eugenie, for their part, make numerous discreet interventions with their uncle Charles to plead their father's case, emphasizing that he has already paid a heavy price and that the public humiliation has been more than enough. They hope that the king will find a compromise, but every sign from Buckingham suggests growing firmness. This crisis comes at a time when the British monarchy is going through a period of turbulence. King Charles is battling persistent rumors about his health, while the crown's popularity increasingly rests on William and Kate, seen as the modern couple capable of saving the institution. In this context, Andrew's continued presence, even in the background, seems an unbearable contradiction. William's supporters point out that a single appearance by the Duke of York at an official event would be enough to derail years of efforts to restore the royal family's image. For the king, the question therefore goes beyond Andrew's personal situation. It poses a broader dilemma. How far can a family go to protect itself as an institution, even if it means sacrificing one of its own? How far can the heir impose his vision, at the risk of fracturing the family unit? And above all, What future awaits Beatrice and Eugenie if they persist in opposing the future king? Some already fear that William, once crowned, will also decide to marginalize his cousins, excluding them from the privileges and public roles they had hoped to retain. In private dinners and the hushed corridors of the royal palaces, the silence becomes oppressive. Everyone knows that the issue cannot be avoided forever. Andrew, for his part, continues to live in seclusion, but categorically refuses to accept total exclusion. For him, he remains a son of Queen Elizabeth, a brother of the king, a prince of the blood who deserves a certain recognition. His daughters support him in this conviction, and their public smiles barely conceal the bitterness growing in the face of decisions they deem unjust. This family fracture perfectly illustrates the difficulty of a modern monarchy. It must be exemplary, irreproachable, but it remains composed of human beings, bound by love, loyalty, and the wounds of the past. By seeking to protect the institution, King Charles risks losing part of his family. By seeking to save her father, Beatrice and Eugenie risk alienating the heir to the throne. And by demanding a clean break, William risks appearing ruthless, which could tarnish the image of compassion he has cultivated for years. Each passing day brings Buckingham closer to an inevitable decision. Courtiers speak of a point of no return. The tabloids are already feasting on these behind-the-scenes quarrels, and public opinion is watching, torn between the desire for a streamlined monarchy and compassion for a divided family. The Andrew scandal, far from over, is proving to be a gaping wound that continues to haunt the crown. And deep down, one question remains, burning, unavoidable: will this silent war at Buckingham's heart mark the beginning of an irreversible fracture within the British royal family?